You're watching Championship Week on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. And welcome to beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Home to over 60 miles of sandy beaches, more than 100 championship golf courses. Springtime is almost here, and with March Madness upon us, it's time once again for the Big South Championship. And here inside the HTC Center, the second ticket to the big dance will be punched this afternoon in a rematch between Winthrop and Coastal Carolina. Alongside a former Horizon League Coach of the Year, Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott on hand. Here's a look at how we got here, and Paul, the winner of this conference, always dangerous come tourney time.
Yeah, last year, Coastal was a 16 seed, and they were tied with number 1 seed Virginia with 8 minutes to go. This can be a dangerous league.
And a look at the starting five. First for the number 5 seed, Winthrop Eagles, coming in at 19 and 12, 12 and 6 in the league. A trio of backcourt players will be the ones to watch.
Smith, Moore, and Johnson can all beat you with the three-point shot.
Pat Kelsey, head coach in his 3rd season for Coastal Carolina, led by Cliff Ellis, Warren Gillis, Warren G, as they call him, very dangerous too.
The X factor is Badu Jang, athletic at the rim, and shoots threes at 43%.
They call it Myrtle Beach Madness, and we are delighted that you could join us on this Sunday afternoon in this showdown inside the Big South. Coastal Carolina dressed in the white uniforms, Winthrop in the garnet and gold, and we are underway. The opening tap controlled by the Chanticleers.
Winthrop will come out with their stingy man-to-man defense.
Two of the top defensive teams in this conference. It is a one-bid league, so the winner of this one goes to the dance. The loser, well, they're going home for the next year, Paul.
He'll be going to the beach after this, Myrtle Beach.
Outside to Wiggins, a transfer from Mount St. Mary's. 7 to shoot. Josh Cameron, the spin move and the finish.
Josh Cameron, the senior, athletic and dynamic at the rim.
Both of these teams returning the majority of their scoring production from a year ago. Here's our first look at Keon Johnson, all 5'7" of them, out of Mansfield, Ohio. And Prescott travels. Paul, let's talk about your keys to victory today for both of these teams.
But for Winthrop, they have to own the defensive glass. Coastal Carolina lives on the offensive glass. In fact, they lead the Big South in offensive rebounds. They must score with pace, Winthrop. Sometimes they go in long scoring droughts. They have to avoid that today. For Coastal Carolina, they're more athletic, they're taller. Points in the paint are going to be huge, and they have to stay close and connected to the three-point shooters of Winthrop.
Inside, here's Wiggins. Good defense by Johnson. And now Gillis loses control and turns it over. Andre Smith off to the races.
That's so vital for Winthrop, Roy. They have a tough time scoring the basketball. The more they can get out in conversion and get some easy baskets, it helps them set their tremendous man-to-man defense. That's how they've gotten to this point in the championship game. Pat Kelsey told us yesterday, it's all about our defense. That's our identity.
Badu Jang goes to work. And out of bounds, it'll stay with the Chanticleers. Now, these two schools separated by 198 miles. Two rivals. They met earlier here in the HTC Center in the regular season. Winthrop proved victorious. In fact, they've won their last 2 meetings here in Myrtle Beach in the regular season, but lost here in the championship just 1 year ago. And Cameron baseline. He now has 4.
Josh Cameron understands to pull up and make that little floater when he can't get to the rim.
Xavier Cooks draws the foul against Tristan Curtis, and Cooks will shoot a pair.
Xavier Cooks sees the lane. The young man from Australia up at the rim. He just got to let go of the basketball. He held on to the ball too long. I think he was a little nervous being up so high.
Noah was a bit starstruck earlier this year as Winthrop upset Clemson on the road. From Australia, his mom, in fact, is in town and watching him for the first time this weekend. You see the numbers as a freshman. He's been a difference maker for Pat Kelsey's Eagles.
High basketball IQ. Team high 47 blocks this year. Capable outside shooter. Length, little bounce, big addition.
One ticket to the NCAA tournament has already been punched. It was last night in the Ohio Valley Conference. Congratulations to Belmont and to head coach Rick Byrd.
And it was only fitting that they won it on a three-point shot.
Of course.
That's what Belmont does best.
Second ticket will be punched here this afternoon. And another turnover. Outside Johnson. The spark plug in too strong. And it'll stay with the Eagles.
Pat Kelsey told us last night he wants to play with that fast pace on a missed shot or a make. He wants to push it in conversion, try to get some easy baskets. He knows his team bogs down a little bit in the half-court set.
We've seen upsets galore here in Myrtle Beach. Number 9 seed Longwood upset the number 1 seed Charleston Southern 2 days ago. And the rebound here will be cleared by Curtis.
That's the athletic ability at the rim for Coastal Carolina. Nothing easy in the paint.
Winthrop will implore that pack line defense with what you see out of Virginia and head coach Tony Bennett. Everybody's got a different style of doing it, but Winthrop's been very effective.
When Winthrop cannot score in the conversion game, they go to some early ball screens and clear-outs for the guards. Great spacing.
Cooks has got a nice shot, but comes up short. And again, Curtis the board, his second.
Pat Kelsey wants more. Johnson and Smith taking the three-point shots, not Cooks.
And Paul, that's what they need today. Shot just 30% from 3 a year ago in the loss to Coastal Carolina. They got to make their outside shots.
Well, they have to score with pace, as we talked about in the keys. If they go in droughts, it's going to hurt their defensive play.
Smith from 17.
I think Smith could have got a better shot, worked for a better shot. It's right off a ball screen. He's way under 6 feet. That was contested.
And Wiggins a wild shot. The Eagles just 1 for 5 to start this one from the field. Smith an open look, top of the key. Coastal Carolina on the glass, one of the best teams in the Big South, if not the country, with their size and athleticism.
Well, number 1 in the Big South in rebounding margin. They live on the offensive glass, and they take care of the defensive glass.
Side rim for Gillis, and Johnson over the back. Nearly 5 minutes in, we are tied at 4. Winthrop and Coastal Carolina here on South Carolina's Grand Strand.
College basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Sport begs of you this one simple question: who will you be? And Mitsubishi Motors.
Back here at the Big South Tournament Championship here in sunny Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, tied at 4. Approaching 5 minutes to play in our first half. And here on South Carolina's Grandstand, we are working on our tans, including Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott. Myrtle Beach, the place to be this time of year, right, Paul?
That's where we're going to be this afternoon, Roy, working on our tan.
Yes, at the 19th hole. Big game here as well today. Obviously, Winthrop trying to go back to the big dance, and it starts in their backcourt. Their trio of guards, well, they've got to set the tone.
Well, Roy, they say good things come in threes, and for Winthrop, that's true. Smith, Moore, and Johnson, they combine for 55% of Winthrop's points, and they shoot 38% as a group behind the arc. They need to get hot. They need to score with pace for Winthrop to win.
That was the win yesterday against number 9 seed Longwood. And for Coastal Carolina defensively, well, they're one of the best in this conference as well.
Well, they are the best. They protect the rim and the paint with their athleticism. They shrink the floor. They make you shoot jump shots from the outside. And when you miss, they clean up the defensive glass. Very hard to score against the Cliff Ellis team.
You see those sunglasses on the rest of this one too, my friend. Look pretty sharp right there.
Working on the tan. Working on the tan.
One thing at a time. Back to live action. Just underway, Myrtle Beach, and an offensive foul. Michelle Ananga, who just checked in, picks up his first.
Cook's moving his feet. Great job. He has legal guarding position. You can move your feet and still take a charge. Good call by the official. Good defense by Winthrop.
Cooks impressed you yesterday in the semifinals. His athleticism, his size, and he's just a freshman.
Love the way he passes the ball. He's making backdoor passes, alley-oops to the rim. This guy can really pass the ball from Australia.
The step back for Moore. And the foul on the rebound. Wiggins climbing the ladder, working against Cooks.
I know that Winthrop needs to score and to take some threes, but it just seems like they're shooting a little bit quick right now, Winthrop. The Cooks with the good intention, good energy, but you can't knock over the defender to get the ball. Winthrop, to me, just seems a little bit nervous right now in their offensive approach, a little too much of a quick trigger. I like to see them work to create those open shots.
Cooks to the bench. Jared Scott checks in for the first time for the Eagles. That's 35 in Garnett. Gillis, an open look from the wing. The sweet stroke of Warren Gillis, a senior out of Philadelphia.
And he's got a drive game. Gillis a post-up game, and he makes timely threes. The senior, the MVP from last year's Big South tournament.
Henry with the miss.
Great block out by Freeman.
You mentioned the nerves, perhaps, of Winthrop. This is a team that's won 3 of its last 4 games here in Myrtle Beach. And another 3. Inanga this time with the honors. But the Eagles cannot afford to fall behind early in a matchup this important.
Because the strength of the Eagles team is their defense. They struggle to score points when they go down 5 or 10. It's like 15 or 20.
OKK the miss. Here comes Coastal Carolina.
There's that athletic ability at the rim, rejecting shots.
Gillis starting to heat up. Now with 5 points, and the Coastal Carolina lead is extended to 8. And a timeout called by Pat Kelsey. We'll step aside 12-4. Chanticleers on top. 12-4 back in Myrtle Beach. Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott, as we take you inside the play.
Well, this is how you create open shots, open three-point shots. Wiggins brings it to the right. Draws 2 defenders, 3 defenders. The quick ball reversal. Warren Gillis understands he's open, knocks it down.
This is what Coastal Carolina can do to you, and this is why they're so dangerous if they make the NCAA tournament once again.
Coastal Carolina just staying attached to the shooters of Winthrop. No space.
6 to shoot. Eagles haven't scored in the last 5+ minutes. Henry in traffic.
And Roy, that was contested. Elijah Wilson moving his feet, hands up. Great defense.
Gillis. Marcus Freeman inside draws the contact. Now Freeman has really come on in his last 7 games, earning big minutes off of Cliff Ellis's bench.
We talked about in the keys to the game for Winthrop, they have to own the defensive glass. You have to put a body on them. Freeman, 35, the power dribble. He's hungry to score points.
Just 6'5", but plays a lot bigger than that, Paul.
And they're not going to run plays for him, so the way he's going to score is to get to the glass.
Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods continues with the West Coast Conference Tournament. Pepperdine Gonzaga coming up on ESPN Monday night at 9 o'clock, followed by Portland BYU at 11:30 on ESPN2. That's Monday night in the West Coast Conference. (13-4), a fast start for the Chanticleers. All right, if you're Winthrop, how do you generate some offense here, Coach?
Ball movement, player movement, really hard screens. Get rid of the ball, don't pound it, pass it.
Eagles are 0 for their last 9.
The more you hold on to the basketball, Roy, the more the defense can load up. That was big for Keon Moore.
And that's what you expect from the first-team All-Big South performer. 20 points per game in conference play this year.
Keon Moore, 44% from threes this year.
Cameron. Oh, the elbow jumper, and Josh Cameron down with 6.
I call that guy the answer. He's not Allen Iverson, but he responds.
And the tough drive. There's Keon Johnson. So the three-pointer by Moore. Johnson follows that up with a hard drive.
That easy basket by Keon Johnson. That takes the pressure off of Winthrop to score in the half court.
Moore for 3. Count it. Well, Keon Moore came into today just 16 points shy of 1,000 in his Division I career. Paulie also scored over 1,000 points in Division II.
We talked to Cliff Ellis before the game. The one guy he was scared of for Winthrop, the one guy was Keon Moore. You can see why.
Winthrop with momentum. The lead was 9 moments ago. Johnson again with the left hand. And Keon Johnson will shoot a pair. Timeout on the floor. The lead for the Chanticleers is 3. Approaching the midway point of our first half. Back and forth we go here in Myrtle Beach. Beach, home of the Big South Tournament Championship. Coastal Carolina 3-point lead. Roy Philpott, Paul Biancardi courtside. Transition baskets always critical for the Eagles, and right now they're starting to warm up a little bit.
Well, part of the first key for Winthrop is scoring with pace from their defense. They get a quick run out. Smith all the way to the basket for a quick 2. And then it's Keon Moore from distance. Keon Moore again in transition. When you can score with pace, it energizes your defense. Winthrop, an 8-2 run, right back in the game.
See their numbers this year offensively, and I think most importantly, Paul, they get back and they score before Coastal can set up its half-court defense.
And that's going to be vital. Those points in conversion, points from the free throw line. They live and die with the 3 guards. Smith, Moore, and Johnson.
And Johnson misses the first of 2. 85% from the stripe this year. And the lead is 2.
For Coastal Carolina right now, you want to get Badu Jang a touch in the low post or at the elbow. He's a guy who can score one-on-one.
Chanticleers back to work. And there's Jang. Inside, the power finish.
Good call by Cliff Ellis. A late dig out by Winthrop. If you're going to go and dig it out, you got to make the big fella pick it up.
And Moore throws up an air ball.
Jang starts off in the short corner. Couple of dribbles to spin. You see the dig, but it wasn't a hard dig. It was a soft dig. Jang recognized it, kept his poise in the post. Beautiful finish.
He can beat you down low. He can beat you outside. The leading three-point shooter for Coastal Carolina as well this season. Winner of this game advances to the NCAA tournament. The loser goes home for a year. And Elijah Wilson off the bench. Made 7 threes in the quarterfinal victory against UNC Asheville in his first of the afternoon here.
That was a set play by Cliff Ellis. His fake dribble penetration to throw back for a three-point shot. Well executed.
Under 10 to play in our first half. Inside Smith is rejected. That was Wiggins. Contact with no whistle.
Great defense by Keon Johnson.
4 first half turnovers so far for Coastal Carolina and a hard foul. Dubio KK, look out when he's close to the rim. He's got all kinds of force behind that physical body.
That's a physically imposing body. Good job by Winthrop getting to the free throw line.
6'8", 230, just a redshirt freshman.
And this is the pace that we continue to talk about. You can't have too many empty possessions or you'll fall behind in this game. Winthrop doesn't have the offense to come back.
Foul went against Wiggins on the attempted rejection. You see Pat Kelsey, excuse me, his third season. And today from the Mohegan Sun Arena, watch the American Conference Women's Semifinals. In the first game, East Carolina takes on top-ranked UConn. That's at 5:30. Then South Florida will battle Tulane at 7:30, both games coming up tonight on ESPNU. The lead is 5 for Coastal Carolina.
2 big free throws by Okeke. He's 53% from the line. That was huge.
71% from the field this year for Okeke. Most of those coming on tips and dunks. Coastal Carolina 8 for 15 from the field to start this one. 3 for 5 from distance. And a wild shot by Gillis will draw the contact. Derrick Henry picks up his first personal. Pat Kelsey played at Xavier. He's an assistant at Wake Forest under the late Skip Prosser. Very emotional coach, energetic head man, and he's ready to get back to the dance this year if he can.
Well, if Winthrop can get a win today, it'll be back-to-back 20-win seasons for Coach Kelsey. And as you mentioned, Roy, he's energized this program. Everything is about detail. Everything's about effort. This guy's the real deal.
We talked to him late last night. They have 10 different categories in how they grade their players just on the defensive end of the floor after each and every game. He said the championship game loss a year ago here in this building was their second worst defensive performance of the season. He expects more this afternoon.
He does. He was disappointed in the defensive effort and execution last year in this game. They talked about it all year.
And a costly mistake by Siobhan Wiggins, his second personal. Andre Smith will shoot 3. You gotta be smarter than this, coach.
Let's see the closeout by Wiggins. He runs into the screen. That's the first mistake. And the second mistake, he trips the shooter. 2 defensive mistakes for Mr. Wiggins.
Cliff Ellis, 8th season here at the beach. One of just 12 coaches to take 4 different programs to the NCAA tournament, including last season here at Coastal. Also a pretty good singer. How about that?
Can Cliff sing? Come on.
We may find out later on.
We know he can dance. He was dancing last year at this time.
When you think about his track record, Smith, one more coming for him. He's taken Clemson to the big dance, Auburn to the NCAA tournament, and South Alabama, also Coastal Carolina. It's not like he's taking Kansas, Duke, and UNC, Paul.
And he's won 100 games at 4 different programs. South Alabama, Clemson, Auburn, and here at Coastal. The only other coach to do that, Lefty Driesell. Coach Ellis approaching 700 wins in his career. Experience on the sideline.
After the free throws, here come the Chanticleers and a foul inside. Derrick Henry will pick up his second. No, make that Johnson. It'll be his first. Our veteran officiating crew calling it close so far. And Gillis.
They're going to wave it off.
No basket.
Jang touched the ball while it was still in the cylinder. A little excited by the young man. Got to wait to see if that thing's going to bounce in before you touch it.
This time Henry picks up his second personal. Gillis back to the stripe. It was a perfect 2 for 2 this afternoon. He was a Big South Tournament MVP a year ago. The way that he just commands this offense, he can even defend you a little bit, but his collected, calm, cool spirit, if you will, Paul.
When you look at his face,
yeah,
he's never too high, he's never too low, and he's always in control. That's what you want out of your senior guards. and able to be able to trust your players, you have to have their mind as well as their heart.
Gillis now with 9 to lead all scores. 8 minutes to play in our first half. Second turnover of the half for Winthrop. And an offensive foul. On the screen, Gillis draws the whistle. 24-17 our score, and a gorgeous day here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Championship week continues here in Myrtle Beach. More than 280 games, 46 title affairs, including today here in the Big South. One ticket, Paul's already been punched last night. Belmont, Rick Berg are going back to the NCAA tournament. One more will be punched, the second one here this afternoon.
Win your way in, lose your way out, Roy. No excuses, just results at this time of the year.
Under 8 to play in the half. Moore an open look. Cooks on the offensive glass. And inside the foul will be called. Davenport will head to the strike. Badu Jang picks up his first.
For Winthrop, getting on the offensive glass is not what they do. So anytime they can get some offensive rebounds, second chance points, create fouls, again, they score with pace, they stop the game, they can set their defense.
Coastal Carolina, significant size advantage down low. Lead is back to 5, so Winthrop hanging around here in the first half. Big advantage for Coastal Carolina playing on its home floor. This is the 3rd straight year this championship has been played in Myrtle Beach inside the HTC Center. It'll be back here next season as well. And the quick release, that's Wilson.
Good block out by Winthrop. See 5 guys trying to rebound the basketball. Talk about cutting a man out. That means go down and just kind of take his legs out a little bit, put your body on his body, so you can get the over the back call. Good job by the Eagles.
Tristan Curtis just picked up his second. That'll bring Marcus Freeman back off the Coastal Carolina bench. Both teams now in the bonus.
So many guys, Roy, want to jump for the basketball. There's so many great athletes.
And a costly miss on the front end. Well, you got to make your free throws in a tournament championship.
And a foolish foul by OKK. You just can't slap or try to slap the ball out of the other man's hands. You got to give up the possession, realize he's got it. He won that battle. Don't give him free points.
He'll be shooting free throws the rest of this half with over 7 to play. Freeman 57% from the line.
He's been a big key for this Coastal team in the last 7 games. Earning a lot of minutes off the bench. Does all the dirty work inside. Screen, rebound, defend.
Connects on a pair. And the lead is back to 7. Same 2 teams were in the tournament championship a year ago in this building. Cooks tried to pass that one away, couldn't get there. And the jump ball arrow will favor Winthrop.
Cooks is going a little bit too deep. Good job to get by his defender, but then he's getting right to the paint against Marcus Freeman at the rim, and he struggles to get rid of the basketball. Just a freshman, but a promising one. Thin, athletic, and skilled. Really like his game, Xavier Cooks.
Very big day in regards to the upcoming NCAA tournament. USC Upstate North Florida will follow us. Neither one of those teams have ever been to the dance. And out of the out-of-bounds play, OKK with a basket.
Great out-of-bounds call by Pat Kelsey. Execution at its finest by the Eagles.
Points in the paint. Eagles already with 6. They like to get 50 touches in the painted area over the course of 40 minutes. Here's Wilson.
Coastal's got to be careful not to be shot happy. They must look at Jang inside for a touch.
And the errant pass as Davenport was trying to spot Cooks. Third turnover. It'll be Coastal Carolina basketball.
That's why Coastal leads the Big South in so many defensive categories. We saw pressure on the ball, deny the wing, turnover by Winthrop.
Another length on the perimeter can be a major issue. Just asked Virginia a year ago, right?
It could be stifling. Coastal Carolina, number 16 seed last year, has number 1 Virginia tied with 8 minutes to go.
Wilson the miss. And the goaltend. OKK called for the infraction. And Marcus Freeman now with 5 points off the bench.
OKK, strong, physical, tremendous athlete. I like that, though. Sends a little message to Coastal Carolina. If you come in here, that's what I'm going to do to you.
Well, he's one of the differences between Winthrop a year ago, Winthrop this season. And right on cue, misses the layup.
Yeah, he tried to finesse that one. With that body, that power, he's got to flush that baby.
28-21, approaching 5.5 minutes to play in the half.
Can't get a better look than that for OKK.
Backdoor cut, Wilson in traffic.
Elijah Wilson played at Laney High School in North Carolina. Same high school as MJ, Michael Jordan.
Winthrop starting to enter that danger zone, trailing by 9 once again, matching the largest Coastal Carolina advantage. Cooks inside, off the glass, and the N1 opportunity, a big basket. What an answer by the freshman.
Well, Xavier Cooks, you see him right at the elbow. He operates best in space. Doesn't like that kind of contact. Tremendous finish. But he caught the ball in an open area, and that's where he's best. He's long, he's skilled, and he's still painfully thin.
Oh, Paul, he made that shot with Marcus Freeman sitting on his shoulder. That's pretty...
That was impressive.
Yeah.
And I think if you're Pat Kelsey, you want to get him the basketball, not on the baseline, where he has the baseline as another defender, more in the middle of the floor where he can go left or right.
Lead is back to 6. The Eagles need a stop. Cameron the runner, and an air ball.
Cooks with a good block out on Freeman.
Johnson gets the bounce. Are you kidding? 5'7", 160 pounds, the sophomore from Ohio.
5'7" in size. He's seeking out the contact against Jang. Look at the concentration. Look at his eyes. They're still up at the basket. That's how you finish a play.
5 points now for Johnson. Second foul against Jang.
Outstanding body control and focus by the sophomore.
So after trailing by 9, Paul, 3 points on the board for Cooks, 3 more for Johnson, and just like that, it's a one-possession game.
If you're Coastal Carolina, you can't settle for that three-point shot. You have to get points in the paint. That's the first key to the game for Coastal. Attack the paint with the drive, with the post-up. They have to do a better job as well connecting on the offensive glass.
And the Winthrop faithful started to make some noise as they made the 200-mile trek. 8 to shoot for Gillis. The lefty, count it, now with 11.
That's just a tough shot he made. Pretty good defense by Winthrop to level off the drive. Gillis, big-time shot maker.
Good offense beats good defense. Final 4 minutes of the half. Here's Smith into the paint and rejected. That was Freeman. Athletic catch that time by Elijah Wilson. A little shake and bake. And here come the Eagles, trailing by 5.
They have numbers. Coach Ellis calling a set play from the sideline. You got to believe it's going to be for Warren Gillis. Jang is out of the game.
Gillis again for 3, too strong. Wilson. And out of bounds over to the Winthrop Eagles. 3 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in the half, 32-27. And Warren Gillis, 11 points, 2 rebounds, a pair of dimes, and an impressive start.
Soft touch by the senior.
In the first half, Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott. 5-point advantage for Coastal Carolina, and Warren Gillis, 11 first half points. He was the tournament MVP a year ago in this building. An electric player here at the beach.
You love his versatility as a big guard. The ability to knock down the three-point shot, the step back to create the space. And when he gets into the lane, he can drive and kick. The lefty can distribute. And what he does best, drive the lane with that lefty floater.
Well, how many times over the course of this time of year, Paul, do we talk about teams that could make a run in the NCAA tournament, pull off an upset? One of the keys to look for is that experienced backcourt. And if Coastal Carolina gets there, that's what they have. We mentioned Virginia and how they took the Cavs deep into the second half a year ago as a 1 versus 16. With more experience this year, they could be even more dangerous.
You need that star to win a championship game and to win a game in the NCAA tournament, and then you need a Robin. You have a Batman, you need a Robin. And for Coastal, and Gillis is Batman, but they also have Josh Cameron, Elijah Wilson. Those guys could all put the ball in the basket. A dangerous perimeter for Coastal Carolina.
And this league has done damage in the dance, most recently 2007, when Winthrop upset Notre Dame 11 versus 6. UNC Asheville won a play-in game against Arkansas Little Rock just 3 years ago. Like that 4 years ago, but this conference has done that.
Because of the guard play. You have to have guard play to pull off that upset. If you can have that athlete in the middle, like Coastal Carolina has with Jang, then you can make a little bit of noise.
So after the final media timeout of our first half, back here inside the HTC Center, Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott. March Madness is upon us. One ticket has been punched, another one will go down as soon as this contest is over. And then, of course, the Atlantic Sun coming up as soon as we're done here in Myrtle Beach. Winthrop basketball trailing by 5. Coastal Carolina's held the lead the entire first half.
This is critical for Winthrop right now. Not to go in a scoring drought, go down double figures. Continue to score with pace. Keep this close or get the lead going into halftime.
Jared Scott has it poked away. Smith saves it. Inside, Cooks, the scoop and score.
And that's a beautiful move by Xavier Cooks. Pat Kelsey putting him more in the middle of the floor. Near the nail on the foul line. The ability to drive left or right, finish with either hand. That was beautiful.
You can see his confidence starting to swoon here in Myrtle Beach. Benanga. And an open look for Gillis, and you can't give him that kind of real estate.
Was all set up by the drive. Getting into the paint, sucks the defense in, creates open shots.
Second time we've seen Keon Johnson attack the rim, and this time will shoot a pair of free throws. Cameron picks up his first personal. Both teams now in the bonus. Winthrop in the double bonus.
Love the way Johnson pushes the basketball up the floor with speed and quickness.
Fearless. And Johnson now 3 of 4 from the line.
You mentioned fearless, Roy. Not afraid to seek out the contact, go to the rim, but he also has the understanding when he's in the paint to kick it out to the open shooter. Terrific playmaker.
He's had a very good Big South tournament. And the lead is 4. A critical 2 minutes coming up for both teams.
Cliff Ellis is going to keep Jang on the bench with 2. He's got 2 fouls.
Bad shot by Nanga, and he knew it rather.
Yeah, that's not the shot you want. He made one earlier. Thought he could do it again. You want to have Wilson, Cameron, Gillis down the stretch.
And the alley-oop and the flush. Dubio KK, count it.
That was big to big. Cooks to OKK.
Look out below here at the beach. And Gillis looking for the back door, nobody home.
The defense outstanding for Winthrop. Watch this pass. The ball screen, the slip, Cooks. That looks okay to me by OKK.
And the Winthrop Eagles, after trailing this entire first half, have an opportunity to grab their first lead of the game. Inside more, and we're tied.
Just seems like this Winthrop team needs a little bit of confidence on the offensive end. Got away with a push, Cameron.
Under a minute to play, Gillis the floater. Freeman. And here's Cooks with a board.
Winthrop owned that possession defensively.
It's a 14-5 run for the Eagles inside. And once again, Keon Johnson starting to take this game over.
Keon Johnson is taking the game over with his speed and quickness. Once they outlet the basketball, he's pushing it up the floor. He's not waiting for anybody else. So if you want to score, you got to run with this young man.
And coming up at halftime, American Conference breakdown. Kentucky. Its perfect ending to the regular season, plus first half highlights and stats. All that and much more, brought to you by Heroes Charge. And Johnson can't connect on a pair.
You don't want to leave points at the line at the end of this game.
Cliff Ellis will take a timeout. We'll step aside with him. We're tied at 35. 34 seconds left here in the first half.
Halftime report. Coach Jim Calhoun to give his thoughts on Kentucky and the perfect ending to the 31-0 regular season, plus the American way. We'll break down the American Conference, not only a key game for Tulsa and SMU, but how the defending national champion UConn Huskies are looking. All that more coming up the half. Roy, Paul, back to you guys.
Adnan, thank you very much. Back here at Myrtle Beach, a 4-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Tied at 35 in a wild first 20 minutes.
If you're Winthrop, you just got to lock in on Gillis and Cameron.
5 to shoot. Cameron an open look. Baseline.
Can't leave the shooter open in the corner.
Andre Smith at the buzzer, banked it in. And what an ending to a spectacular first half here in Myrtle Beach.
Andre Smith understanding he's got to get it off quick. And he got it off just in time. The senior, no fear. Off the glass. We got a tie game.
And that shot's going to count. And that'll be the end of the first half. And we end exactly where we started. We're tied at 38. Now let's go to Adnan Vert with the Heroes Charge halftime report. You're watching Championship Week on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. And back along South Carolina's Grand Strand, halftime here inside the HTC Center. And we are tied at 38 for the Big South Tournament Championship. And again, everybody, alongside a former Rice League Coach of the Year, Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott on hand. Exciting first half ball. Back and forth we went. A lot of three-pointers. Some pretty good defense at times as well.
Coastal got off to a really fast start and built a big lead, but Winthrop fought their way back, and they scored the ball with pace.
Well, the fast start for Coastal Carolina started with Warren Gillis, 14 first-half points. He was on fire.
He scores the ball in different ways, the three-point shot or the drive. But for Winthrop, Xavier Cooks, the freshman, tacking the basket, scoring through contact. He can see the play and make the assist. High basketball IQ.
Let's take a look at our competitive edge in the game presented by Principal Financial Group. And Winthrop, led by Keon Johnson, attacked the rim aggressively in that first half. Warren Gillis, you see the numbers, impressive as well.
And Winthrop, 16-6 points in the paint. That's not a stat we would have had coming into this game at the half, Roy. We would have thought it'd be the other way around. Coastal having the advantage inside.
Pat Kelsey looking on in his third season at Winthrop University. And after a thrilling first 20 minutes, we can only imagine what's in store coming up. Coastal Carolina basketball as we are underway in the second half here in Myrtle Beach. Winner of this one will punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. The loser will go home for the season. Gillis, yes. 16 points for Warren Gillis, a senior from Philadelphia.
And it's just a simple clear out to allow Gillis to go to his left hand. Winthrop has to sit on that left hand, make him go right.
Cooks the miss from point-blank range. Here comes Coastal.
Now Badu Jang right there with the ball, sat out a lot at the end of the first half with foul trouble. I like the way Coach Ellis goes right to him to start the second half.
Tevin Prescott will pick up his third personal. And Winthrop does not have a lot of bodies down low. That's a developing story.
But they're going to have to rebound by committee and play post defense by committee.
Jang, one of 4 Coastal Carolina players with 2 first-half fouls. Josh Cameron, 11 points. A senior from Racine, Wisconsin.
You know, he's been quiet on the court, but he's making timely shots for Coastal.
Winthrop trying to make its 10th appearance in the big dance. Coastal Carolina went a season ago, looking for its 4th trip to the NCAA tournament.
See the paint touch, the drive, and the kick. That's how you create open shots, especially open threes. Get deep into that paint, and instead of trying to score, kick it out.
Jang for 3. 44% from behind the three-point arc this year. And a big basket. A 7-0 run for Coastal Carolina right out of the gate. Timeout on the floor as we step aside. 45-38 our score. Just over 90 seconds into our second half here in Myrtle Beach. Into our second half, and they can beat you in so many different ways, Paul.
And Josh Cameron's been hot the last 5 games, gets into the lane and spins. Badu Jang, 43% from distance. Xavier Cooks late on that closeout. A quick run by Coastal Carolina. This is the type of offense that they have. It's potent.
That's how they started this one earlier this afternoon. Red hot from the field. Shooting a cool, calm, collected 49% so far, 6 of 12 from distance for Cliff Ellis's Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
Well, that last possession by Jang, the open 3, that was just bad defense.
Badu Jang, the X factor, was quiet in the first 20 minutes, starting to spring to life here in the second. Cooks, the left hand, swatted away. Tristan Curtis.
The next time Cooks goes in there, he's got to give him the shot fake, get him off the air, get him off his feet, into the air, then go back up strong. That's the athletic ability we talked about by Coastal, protecting the rim.
Cameron against Smith.
They got that switch going, Andre Smith on Jang. That's a mismatch if Coastal wants to exploit it.
Jang baseline, draws the contact.
Winthrop gets in close. A little shot fake. The weak side shot blocker gets it, not the man on the ball.
Andre Smith called for that last personal foul, his first.
Little baseline runner. Trying to get Josh Cameron on a little curl.
And Cameron called for traveling. Turnover number 8 for Coastal Carolina.
And sometimes Cameron, he means so well, but he goes into tight spaces where there's no room. And what happens? You can get a charge, travel, turnover.
Nearly 3 minutes into this second half, Winthrop in search of its first points.
Winthrop has to stay patient, continue to get ball movement, player movement, and don't settle for a contested 3.
Fall away for Moore.
That's where he has a huge advantage. 6'5" guard, long arms, great extension, elevation once he gets into the paint.
Now 6 points away from 1,000 in his Winthrop career. You see the offensive droughts for the Eagles. That's been a big-time story. They've got to avoid those going forward.
That's the key for Winthrop trying to win this game and win a Big South championship. Score with pace. You don't have to score every time, but you can't have long possessions without points.
After the miss by Jang, Moore. Back iron.
Bad look. I know you scored on your last possession, son, but moving around.
5-point advantage for the Chanticleers. Cameron off the glass. It's what he does best. 13 points now for the senior.
Josh Cameron, last 5 games has averaged 15 points a game, and he's shooting 38% from 3. He's been hot down the stretch for Coastal.
Johnson, short. Belmont Bruins have already punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament. The first team this year to do so. The second ticket goes to the winner of this one.
They're trying to isolate Gillis right at the middle, make him a facilitator or a driver.
4 to shoot. Wiggins has got to hurry. The turnaround and the answer.
That was outstanding defense, Roy. Tremendous offense. To make a shot when the shot clock is winding down, that's big time.
And here comes this crowd in Myrtle Beach.
Cliff Ellis yelling out, X screen, X screen. Let's see if that's to go inside to Jang.
Gillis. And the rebound to Johnson.
Well, now we know X screen is a 3-point shot for Gillis.
Johnson in traffic, out of control. Prescott to miss. Coastal Carolina tying its largest lead of the contest at 9 points.
Winthrop with only 2 points in 7 minutes. The efficiency has to be better for the Eagles.
The spin move, Jang with the left hand.
Beautiful move.
Winthrop's got to capitalize on these misses.
They really do. They're not scoring in conversion. They're not getting to the line. Too many empty possessions right now for the Eagles.
Big shot here. Wiggins throws it up, draws the foul. 49-40 our score. 13+ minutes remaining in the half. Siobhan Wiggins, the NEC Freshman of the Year, now at Coastal Carolina getting the job done here at the beach. And Coastal Carolina races out to an 11-2 lead here in the second half. 49-40 our score. Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott on hand. The winner of this one punches their ticket to the dance. And a reminder, 2 new franchises kick off the 2015 MLS season on ESPN. Orlando City Soccer Club versus New York City Football Club. 4:30 on ESPN2. And watch ESPN. Back on the pitch, Coach B. Can't beat them.
Not at all. And you can't beat Coastal Carolina when they're shooting 43% from distance. 6 for 14. Winthrop only 25% from the three, 3 for 12.
Remember, Winthrop won on this floor during the regular season, 75-68. Coastal Carolina trying to exact revenge after that setback, but the Chanticleers won in this same game a season ago. And Paul, the Eagles just 1 for 9 from the field to start this one, in Coastal Carolina with its largest lead.
And Pat Kelsey told us last night, Smith, Moore, and Johnson all have to play well. They are our big three on the perimeter. They're our best shooters. We can't have two guys play well. We need all three to step up in this game.
HT Center comes to life. And off the glass, the answer. A response by Keon Johnson. Johnson now with 10 points.
Love the way the little guy gets in there, 5'7", not afraid.
And Paul, you can feel the sense of urgency started. Ramped up a couple of notches here inside of the HTC Center. Open look for Jang. Why not? 8 points for Badu Jang.
Big advantage when you can have your four-man making threes from the corner. And your best player driving the paint and finding them.
What a great environment for college basketball. And Moore stops and pops.
Winthrop needed that just for their confidence factor. To respond to Jang's three, cut into the deficit.
12 minutes remaining. Skip pass to Jang. Yes. 11 points for Badu Jang, 9 in the second half, and here we go.
Roy, he made 2 big threes yesterday against Gardner-Webb to help Coastal advance. He's doing the same thing this afternoon.
Cooks another answer on the other end. But if a little Jang is good, more is better, right?
Little pick and roll, the best player. Gillis finds Jang in the right corner. Bang!
Green and South Carolina upstate taking on North Florida in the Atlantic Sun title game, just about 40 minutes or so away from tip. Look forward to that. Right back to you.
Adnan, thank you very much. Back here at Myrtle Beach. Of course, the big story this weekend, Belmont already has punched its ticket. Taylor Barnett, a 3 with 3.2 seconds remaining yesterday as Rick Byrd and company upset Murray State.
That's the way Rick Byrd plays. He beats you with the three-point shot. He spaces you out, he spreads you out, and he recruits a lot of good shooters.
3 the hard way for Xavier Cooks. A big basket. The lead is back under 10. All right, if you're Winthrop, Paul, how do you try to slow down this Coastal Carolina offensive attack? They've been red hot.
You got to stay connected to their shooters. You can't overhelp the situation and do not allow Coastal to get the ball into the paint with the post feed or the drive. You got to start leveling off the drive, doing a better job maybe fronting the post.
You know, big time advantage for the Chanticleers playing on their home court. They're 14-2 in this arena this year, but one of those losses came to Winthrop. Third straight season the championship has been played here at Myrtle Beach. They'll play it again here next season as well.
And in that game, Roy, Winthrop scored over 70 points.
Elijah Wilson put on the line along 2.
And every time Winthrop can score the ball, they can set their strong defense. You start missing, coming up empty, teams are going to get runouts on you, and your defense is just going to eventually break when you don't score.
Moore, the floater.
He's come up big all afternoon. Keon Moore, the sophomore. I'm sorry, the senior, 6'5". First team all Big South. Look at that denial. Great back cut by Wilson.
Off the glass, Wilson. Now with 9 points.
And a 4-man made that pass. Tristan Curtis from the top. Great execution by Coastal.
Approaching the halfway point of our second half. Johnson. Got the separation he wanted, but couldn't connect.
Now Winthrop just got to get back and make it a 5-on-5 game. Every time they miss Winthrop, they just got to sprint back in defensive conversion. It's easy to say. It's really hard to do.
Chanticleers have scored on their last 5 possessions.
You start to feel defeated when you don't score the basketball easy.
Gillis with the contact. And the West Coast Conference tournament semifinals will be headed your way on Monday. Pepperdine Gonzaga coming up at 9 o'clock on ESPN. And on the Deuce, 11:30, Portland BYU. West Coast Conference tournament semifinals. March Madness is here. And now 4 personal fouls on Tevin Prescott.
And that really was a mismatch for Gillis on that. He saw Prescott. He went right to work. And I'm surprised that Winthrop has allowed Gillis to go to his left hand so much on the drive. I would cut that off and make him spin back and go right.
Well, the Gillis family well represented here inside the HTC Center. 17 points today with the 5 dimes. Was the tournament MVP a year ago with 22 points in the title contest.
And 7 dimes.
And now the largest lead here today, call it 13.
Cliff Ellis giving that young man a little break right now. He'll bring him in at the next TV timeout for the stretch run.
Big possession here for the Eagles. Cooks, the finger roll. And he will earn a pair of free throws.
Love the mobility on this young man, Xavier Cooks. Finesse, skill. Loves to operate in a little bit of space. When he gets up to the rim, he's not the strongest individual on the court. But he's not afraid either.
USC upstate North Florida. Neither one of those basketball programs has made the NCAA tournament. One will advance in the Atlantic Sun Championship as soon as we're done here in Myrtle Beach. And checking back in will be Joshua Davenport. Well, we talked to Pat Kelsey, and he said way back in preseason practice, the last Friday in August, I told my guys, we're going to play Coastal Carolina on ESPN2 on this very day, and lo and behold, that's exactly what has happened. And it really has been, it's felt like a revenge affair for him and his team. But Coastal Carolina so far has just had too many offensive answers.
And the game has almost went the same way as it did last year, where Winthrop just struggles to score the basketball against the best defense in the Big South. As you mentioned, they beat him down here during the regular season. But as the year goes on, Cliff Ellis, plays with his team, organizes things, and makes his team get better. That's what the great coaches do.
7 to shoot, Wiggins. Right side, off the glass, the one-hander.
What a big addition for Coastal. Transfer from St. Mary's, where he was the freshman of the year in the Northeast Conference.
Lead is back to 13, under 9 minutes to play here in Myrtle Beach.
You see Pat Kelsey in the top left-hand part of your screen. He's yelling, move it, pass it.
Too strong for more. Prescott the board. Make that Davenport. And Moore working against Wilson will draw the foul.
Wiggins takes advantage of his quickness. Little fade away. Love the way these little guards in this game, Roy, are finishing at the rim. Yes, they're tough, but when you watch their eyes, they stay up on the rim. That keeps the focus to finish the shot.
This is what Cliff Ellis loves to do. He likes to put in Gillis. He'll run the show, the final stretch of important games. Just has that confidence, that trust factor.
As this game goes on, you're going to see the ball in Gillis's hands more and more. Now he lets Cameron be a point guard early in the game a little bit. Lets Wiggins be a point guard. He told us before the game, Cliff Ellis, I really trust Wiggins. But the guy I count on the most is Warren Gillis.
The miss by Smith. Coastal Carolina offensive efficiency. They've scored on their last 7 possessions. And now content. It's early to bleed a little clock. Take their time here, Paul.
Yeah, they're not going to try to run clock. They're trying to score, but they just want to be patient.
Not the shot you want to see from Cameron. He knows better as a senior.
Cliff Ellis yelling, "Get back!"
Out of bounds, it'll stay with the Winthrop Eagles here in the Big South Championship. Coastal Carolina trying to repeat. And right now the lead is 13.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Sport begs of you this one simple question: who will you be?
Conditions back in Myrtle Beach, over 60 miles of sandy beaches here in the Grand Strand area. 64-51 our score. Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott for the Big South Tournament Championship. Three-point shooting has been the story so far here inside the HTC Center.
And Coastal has created those threes with some outstanding penetration and kicks. Getting into the paint, kicking it out. Jang wide open. He knocks it down to 43%. First from the right side, then from the left corner. He made back-to-back threes, Badu Jang, to open this game up for Coastal Carolina. 47%, you see it right there for Coastal from distance.
That's been the difference in this game, and Cliff Ellis with the advantage once again, playing for an NCAA tournament berth.
We thought the advantage for Coastal was in the paint. We had no idea it was going to be from behind the arc.
Here's a place run for Smith, who converts in a big basket.
And Pat Kelsey diagrammed that in the timeout. For Andre Smith, little screen-the-screener action. And now maybe a little zone by Pat Kelsey, a 3-2 zone.
Wilson with the answer. 12 points for Elijah Wilson.
I guess it doesn't matter the defense, Roy. When you're hot, you're hot.
Davenport too strong.
See, if you're Winthrop, you're not going to match Coastal on threes. If you have the open one, by all means, shoot it. But you got to drive closeouts. Pat Kelsey talked about it last night. We want 50 paint touches. You don't get paint touches by shooting quick threes.
The skip pass, Wilson again. Curtis on the offensive glass.
That was a man's rebound.
It really was.
By Curtis.
Wilson the miss. And the foul inside. Now the Eagles struggling to find their offensive rhythm. You see the scoring droughts for Pat Kelsey's group.
If you add that up quickly, it's over 16 minutes without a basket. Not going to win any game not scoring for 16 minutes. That was my A that I got in math, Roy. I know you were impressed with that addition.
I don't think that was an A in math, sir. But you made it through somehow. 6 minutes remaining.
Little scissor cut off the high post. I like the way Coastal is making Winthrop defend. They're not trying to kill time. They're trying to run their stuff and keep Winthrop on defense at the same time.
7 to shoot, Wiggins. And an open three's an air ball by Gillis.
Winthrop really helping on those drives. That's going to open up the three-point shot.
And another turnover. And you can sense the Coastal Carolina in control, approaching 5 minutes to play.
Now, if you're Winthrop, you got to be strong-minded defensively. You can't think about what's going on offense. You got to think about just getting a stop. If they can put together a couple of 3 stops, scoring conversion, they get it to single digits.
Elijah Wilson off the glass and one.
Elijah Wilson had 29 points against UNC Asheville, all threes. On that move, he got cut off. The spin back. Scores with the drive. The versatility of Elijah Wilson and Warren Gillis, Josh Cameron. It's like a three-headed monster. The ability to score off the bounce, pull it from three, and connect from the line. All outstanding free throw shooters.
Largest lead of the game. It's 16 for Coastal Carolina. And Smith for a second quiets the crowd. And a timeout will be called by Pat Kelsey. 2 remaining for the Eagles, 4 left for Coastal Carolina. And a reminder, today from the Mohegan Sun Arena, watch the American Conference Women's Semifinals. In the first game, East Carolina takes on top-ranked UConn. And coming up at 7:30, South Florida will battle Tulane. Both games on ESPNU and watch ESPN. Connecticut, very impressive this year. Their lone loss coming against Stanford. That was back in November. And back here in Myrtle Beach, Coastal Carolina, for the first time perhaps in school history, going to go to the NCAA tournament in back-to-back seasons.
Right now, Pat Kelsey is telling his team, we got to pick up full court man. We got to speed up the pace of this game. We can't let Coastal Carolina walk the ball up the floor. You may see some traps by Winthrop to see if they could speed up Coastal into a turnover. Go back to the keys. Winthrop has not scored with pace. Only 2 fast break points. Coastal has not scored in the paint all that much. 16's not bad, but they've done a really good job defending the big three, Moore, Smith, and Johnson. Here's the trap and the pressure by Winthrop.
Once again, it's Warren Gillis. 20 points for the senior.
That's the right idea by Pat Kelsey. Trap, try to speed up the game, get a steal, force a turnover. But when you have no shot blockers in the back and Warren Gillis in the open floor, that's bad news for the Winthrop Eagles.
We wondered if the Eagles would have enough firepower in a tournament-type setting to come in here and win on Coastal Carolina's home court. Right now, it looks like the answer is no. Johnson along 3.
Tell you what they have, though. They have big heart, Winthrop. They play just like their coach, Pat Kelsey. High energy, big heart. You know, Winthrop doesn't have any shot blockers at the rim. So if they press, they're going to give up layups. They're not a great outside shooting team. They've had an unbelievable season. And only down 12, they have time for one more run.
We'll need a stop right here. Wiggins. Wilson's had the hot hand. So is Jang.
And Jang wasn't ready to shoot that one. Great drive and kick by Wilson. Coastal's done outstanding tonight in the concept of drive and kick.
Keon Moore draws the foul. 72-60. Under 4 media timeout here in Myrtle Beach. Boy, this guy needs a little help from distance. Perhaps Coastal Carolina can do the honors. We'll find out coming up.
That's what's coming up next. Dallas Moore in North Florida put up 36 in the semifinal versus Lipscomb. They're taking on South Carolina upstate, just about 20 minutes away from the tip-off there. Back to more from Roy and Paul. Guys?
Adnan, the madness has started here officially in Myrtle Beach. And be careful what you wish for. You want Kentucky, you just may get them, Paul.
You don't want Kentucky, Roy. Because in every game, there's one part of the game they just turn on that defense. So far, no one's been able to answer that. You know, they don't play great for 40 minutes. Other teams have had the lead on them. They've been in close games. But when they decide to focus in and play defense as a unit, they're almost impossible to score on.
And it's not like they haven't been tested this year. They've won in double overtime at Texas A&M. Overtime against Ole Miss as well at home.
But they have the calling card. They have that defense, the size, the athletic ability, and they have the effort. They've been given great effort on the defensive end all year. That's a big credit to John Calipari.
7-2 run for Winthrop, and the Eagles within 11. 3:33 remaining.
Plenty of time to get an old-fashioned stop. Got to finish the possession with a defensive rebound.
Gillis with 20. The rainbow is short.
Keon Johnson just using his small frame. Great block out.
Need a basket here. Cook puts it back up and in. Xavier Cooks now with 14.
All from the penetration of Keon Johnson. He's a catalyst.
And a steal. The turnover. A frantic pace here in the last 60 seconds, Paul. And Pat Kelsey's got it like this.
And if you're Cliff Ellis, you have to calm your team down, show poise, show patience, and understand you're going to get Winthrop's best shot right now. They're desperate, and you have to play more alert on the offensive end.
USC Upstate North Florida, the Atlantic Sun Championship coming up next. Smith. Out of bounds over to the Chanticleers.
I love the heart of Smith, but maybe not that one. If you got a guy that close to you, that far away from the basket, use your speed and quickness at 5'10". Get into the lane, kick it out, or get into the lane and use the floater.
Cliff Ellis will call a timeout, 72-63. The big two so far for the Chanticleers, Badu Zhang, Warren Gillis, and Zhang has really played well in the second half, Paul.
He shot the ball extremely well, 43% behind the arc. Coastal's been sensational at the drive and kick game. Warren Gillis into the paint that time, decided to take it in himself. And in the open floor, the senior knows how to find the rim.
20 points for Warren Gillis, 11 on the board for Zhang. And the two players with 4 combined three-pointers made. As you see the numbers for Coastal Carolina. They like to spread the wealth here at the beach.
Well, anytime you have balanced scoring, it's hard for the defense to lock in on one man. So right now for Coastal Carolina, be strong to get the ball inbound. Handle the pressure, attack the pressure.
Well suited Zhang. Missed the flush and a foul on the floor. It'll go against Keon Moore.
A great organization against the press by Cliff Ellis. This is how you break pressure. Get away from the trap. You get it to the middle of the floor. You skip it. Creates numbers. And Zhang should have made that dunk.
His first free throws of the contest.
He's only 66% from the line, so great foul by Winthrop. But they have to make sure they block out.
This should be a 1-and-1, and it should be Winthrop basketball. And indeed, I think the crew got it right. Coastal Carolina just in the regular bonus.
Winthrop has to play fast, but they don't have to shoot quick. Move the ball, find the open man as quickly as possible. Ball staying on the left side of the floor. It's not good. You got to get ball reversal.
Contested shot by Moore. Outstanding defense by the Chanticleers.
Tristan Curtis. Hands straight up. You can't ask for a better defensive possession if you're Cliff Ellis.
And that'll be the third personal against Keon Moore. Free throws coming up for the Chanticleers. Javon Wiggins at the strike.
He grabbed his left arm. Lucky that wasn't called a flagrant. Flagrant one. Unnecessary contact, but not excessive.
One more coming for Gillis. And perhaps reality starting to sink in on the Winthrop bench. Winner of this one will advance to the NCAA tournament and will be the second bid secured. Belmont punched its ticket last night. Coastal Carolina trying to make it back-to-back trips. And Cliff Ellis imploring this crowd. Johnson gets the shot to drop. Chang rejected. Kevin Prescott came in at the last second. Boy, this place was ready to explode.
But Chang was ready to make them explode. He can get you off your feet. Tremendous block by Prescott. The timing, all ball.
1:42 remaining, and a foul called, and what would have been a steal by Smith. Kelsey can't believe it.
Could have cut it to 7. The steal was fast. The whistle was slow.
Now, Paul, these two teams separated by about 198 miles here inside the Palmetto State. Two old rivals. Some bad blood between these two at times. Seen physical play this afternoon. But also some healthy respect.
A lot of respect. And Pat Kelsey called this, though. This was a revenge game coming into the game.
Yeah.
Winthrop still seeking revenge.
And the late whistle. Tristan Curtis will pick up his 3rd. And that'll send Andre Smith back to the line. There's 5 team fouls against Coastal Carolina in the second half. Cliff Ellis, what an incredible job he has done here at Myrtle Beach. Season number 8. First trip to the NCAA tournament was a year ago, trying to make it back-to-back for the first time in school history. We mentioned this earlier. He's taken 4 different programs to the big dance, including Auburn, Clemson, South Alabama.
He's coached in 2 Sweet 16s at Clemson and Auburn. Approaching 700 wins in his career. Asked him before the game, how do you feel? He goes, I feel energized right now. Ask me after the game.
Long pass to Wilson, and the foul from behind by Smith. Well, it was a year ago in the NCAA tournament. Coastal Carolina entered as a 16 seed against number 1 seed Virginia. And the Chanticleers gave the Cavs all they could handle. It was tied at 47, 8 minutes remaining before Tony Bennett's club went on a late run to create some separation. If you're number 1 or 2 seed this year, and in fact it is Coastal Carolina out of the Big South, if this score holds, look out.
Coastal had a 5-point lead against Virginia at halftime as well. As I said before, Coastal Carolina has outstanding guard play. They have athletes at the rim. That's how you can compete with a high major team. The ability to score and have experience in the backcourt playmakers who are battle tested, but you need athletes at the rim to score and to block shots.
Timeout called by Coastal Carolina. The lead is 12. Cliff Ellis talking to his troops. And you want to talk about Warren Gillis, the 2014 Big South Tournament MVP. Can beat you in so many different ways. A year ago, he's doing the same thing today as well, Paul.
Yeah, this left-hander scores with a lot of versatility. He understands when he's open, and he's not afraid to make the big shot. Understands how to create space and knocks it down. You put him in the conversion game, and he finds the rim easy. He has a middle game, and I love the way he's a playmaker.
Mama's got to be loving this when he's got that Philly toughness. We saw it last year. We're seeing it again today.
You see that toughness, but you also see a face, Roy, of a poker player. You don't know if he's up 10 or down 10 right now.
Oh, I like it.
And I love that look by this young man.
1:28 remaining after the Coastal Carolina timeout. Smith from 30. And the foul inside as Cooks hits the deck.
Well, for Winthrop, just keep trying to run some quick hitters for a quick 3-point shot or drive it all the way to the basket. I know they have shot blockers at the rim. Maybe get into the paint and kick it out. But it's got to be 1 or 2 passes right now if you're Winthrop to try to create a shot. Pat Kelsey playing essentially 4 guards Xavier Cooks, the freshman.
Non-shooting foul, so Winthrop basketball has more. Can't convert.
See, that's a good look. But it's great defense by Coastal. You get in there, they're going to challenge you at length and athletic ability, height and wingspan.
And a reminder coming up next, the Atlantic Sun Championship, USC Upstate versus North Florida. Neither one of those teams have ever made the NCAA tournament. A lot at stake. March Madness is here, my friend.
It certainly is. Looking at Pat Kelsey right now and thinking about what's going through his mind on the sideline. He has done a remarkable job building up this Winthrop program back again. To be in the championship game 2 years in a row, that speaks volumes of the work that Pat is doing.
He also will welcome into his program next year the nation's leading scorer of the high school ranks, averaging 50 points per game. So he's got some talent coming into Rock Hill, South Carolina. Johnson with a three. The lead is 10. And a foul against Wilson. Under a minute to play here in Myrtle Beach. The Chanticleers will have to hit some free throws to close this one out.
Just hit your free throws and don't turn it over. Make sure you guard the three-point line. If you have to give up anything, you'll give up that tough two inside the paint. Coastal doing a great job protecting the rim and staying close and connected to the shooters of Winthrop.
Wilson now with 16. What a Big South tournament he has had. Career high 29 in the quarterfinal win against UNC. Ashley made 7 threes. Electrica here again this afternoon. More from the logo of the Big South.
Two of the smallest guys on the floor going up high for that rebound.
That'll put Wiggins at the stripe. Started every game at point guard this year for Cliff Ellis. Cliff Ellis set to become the 5th coach in Big South history with multiple NCAA tournament bids. And he still has that fire in his belly when you talk to him.
He's going to lose Warren Gillis and Josh Cameron after this year, but he got Wiggins back and Elijah Wilson. 2 very good guards.
And after the miss by Johnson, Coastal Carolina again will shoot free throws.
And you look ahead, they also have Badu Jang. So 3 key pieces will be back for this Coastal Carolina team next year.
Now the Big South Conference. Incredible hospitality for us and our ESPN crew this week. Brad Dean, the Chamber of Commerce. Mark Simpson of the Big South. Tremendous job across the board.
What time's our tea time after this game?
19th hole. We'll see you there.
Well, Brad Dean and Mark Simpson have went out of their way to make this tournament outstanding.
This tournament again will be played here at Myrtle Beach next season. Jang misses the second. Time winding down. And the miss by Smith. As Cooks will foul Wilson from behind.
When you get into that paint against Coastal, Roy, they really shrink the floor. They take away your vision. You end up throwing up bad shots. The right thing to do is kick it out, but they make you think so quick and so fast. That's why they're the best defensive team in the Big South.
Well, if you're a #1 seed or a #2 seed, and the brackets come out on Selection Sunday, and Coastal Carolina pops up on your line, the last person you want to see is Cliff Ellis and his Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
This is an experienced basketball team led by an experienced basketball coach. That's a dangerous formula for an upset in the NCAA tournament.
Mom loves it. And this capacity crowd inside the HTC Center also do. Some 3,600 fans in attendance today. 22 points in the Big South Championship for Warren Gillis, a senior from Philadelphia.
Love the way he was a playmaker as well as a scorer this afternoon. He does it all for this Coastal Carolina team. It's the guy Cliff Ellis counts on the most.
You got to think he has a great opportunity to be the MVP once again.
Which would
pick
make
your
him
poison.
Back-to-back MVPs if he gets it. I'm voting for him. But this guy right here was the X factor. Badu Jang, 23 in the white. Make no mistake about it.
Time winding down. And that's going to do it. For the first time in the history of Coastal Carolina University, the Chanticleers are going dancing in back-to-back seasons. And the second ticket to the NCAA tournament has been punched. And it's a party at the beach.
It's a big party, Roy. There's no room in that party.
Dancing feels good. Coastal Carolina now 24-9. Big South champions again. An emotional Cliff Ellis. He's got to be pleased with another run to the NCAA tournament. Paul Biancardi, final thoughts.
Outstanding guard play by Coastal, and the experience was the difference in this game.
81-70 our final score here in Myrtle Beach as Coastal Carolina punches the second ticket to the NCAA tournament. For Paul Biancardi, I'm Roy Philpott. Now let's get you back to the studio. We'll get you caught up on all the latest sports action. So long from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.